Hey everybody, welcome to Jasco Goods. After my last video where I made fun of my wife's cooking, I got banished to the garage. Luckily, I had a spare 5-gallon bucket. Marriage tip, making fun of your wife publicly is not the aphrodisiac you might think it is. So one night when I was eating dinner, I got to looking around and I thought, man, I really need to organize my workshop. After taking down my pegboard to put up those cabinets, I still have a lot of stuff in containers. I need a space to put all my small stuff. I bought this welding cart from a garage sale maybe 15, 20 years ago, and it has a lot of space underneath that I don't utilize. I just put some buckets of crap under there, not literally. So I thought it'd be a good idea to build some custom drawers to fit under there, just some shallow ones. And this cart is perfect because I can still roll the drawers wherever I want. My plan was to build the drawers out of 1/2-inch plywood because it's lighter and a little bit cheaper than 3/4. So thinking I was smart, I drew up a cut sheet to help me minimize material waste. But this turned out to be a big mistake, because for some reason, the plywood manufacturers make plywood in really odd sizes just to mess with us. So the first sheet of plywood I bought to make the drawer box was 19/32, and all my measurements were based on 1/2 inch. So that means my box was 3/8 of an inch too wide and too tall, and you'll see why later that came back to bite me in the butt. And I don't have much butt to spare. I'm all gut and no butt. So the first thing I did was rip down my plywood into the 5 sides that I needed for my box. I was trying to use the broke man's track saw system from Bora, but I ended up scrapping that and just using it as a straight edge. The plastic plate that you put the saw on is just so hard to dial in. They actually stopped selling this whole system. It was only out maybe a year. The tracks are a pain in the butt to clamp to the plywood because you got to hold them square and then keep them the right distance from your line and make sure it doesn't like slide. It's just not easy to use. But it makes a decent straight edge, and it beats freehanding it or trying to hold up a full sheet of plywood on your table saw. What I ended up doing was cutting a square that was the same distance from my saw blade to the edge of my bottom plate, and then that way I can use that to not only make the track square, but make sure it stays right on the line too. I must have looked pretty cool in my red shirt because one of my neighbors drove by and yelled out, "Hey, cool shirt, man!"
Hey, Kool-Aid Man!
He must have been a Donkey Kong fan, but for the rest of the day I was kind of feeling myself. When I did my original plans and all my measurements, I thought when I bought this it was 1/2 inch plywood, but it's actually like 19/16 or 19/32, I'm sorry. So as you can see, my back panel is a little wide. I got to cut some of it off. Got to trim off about 1/8. Now that everything's cut, it's time to glue it all up. I got this pack of glue brushes from Amazon, but they're kind of crappy. The bristles were falling out, and then the glue was drying in it before I could even get to the next piece.
I think you're going to prefer to use your fingers.
Probably.
That's what she said.
I thought about it after I said it.
I'm using Type Bond 3 to glue this up because I live out in the dry desert and it's hot, and it has a longer assembly time, so that's why. Then I just threw my corner clamps on there to hold it square while I nailed it. So I'm not really showing the dimensions like I normally do. If you want to go back and look at that paper that I held up, that shows all the dimensions of all these pieces. But this is very specific to my need, which is to fit under my welding cart. So the dimensions are kind of like wonky. It's like 8/32, and you don't need anything like that. You would just want to customize this to whatever size you need. It's really the methodology that I'm showing here, like how I did it, or more so, to be more specific, how not to do it. When you see some of the mistakes I made during this, you're probably gonna want to unsubscribe. This was supposed to be like an easy weekend project. It ended up taking me like a week because of all the mistakes I made. So strap on your helmets, kids, because it's about to get ugly. I went ahead and added some screws around the box just for extra support. Whoops. I don't know if they're necessary, but I just like to flex that I know how to use a screw gun. Now I'm using the edge guide part of the system to cut out strips to make my drawer boxes out of. I don't know why, but no matter how tight I keep this edge rail guide up against the plywood, it still makes wavy lines. In hindsight, I should have rough cut it with this and then cleaned it up on the table saw. They make another version of this, Craig does, and I want to try that. Or what I'm really trying to do is save up and get the Milwaukee track saw. I really need a track saw. So I measured it now. I'm cutting down my 2 drawer sides. Then I took the 2 drawer sides and my 2 drawer glides or guides, whatever you want to say, and I put them in there just so I can get a really good measurement for my front and back pieces. Then I cut the front and back pieces and I tried it all again to make sure that everything fit nice before I start assembling. And I'm only going to assemble and install the top drawer first to make sure it fits, and then I'm going to cut all the rest. For my drawer boxes, I didn't do any fancy, dancy joinery. All I did was a little bit of glue and some pin nails, but I'm also doing a solid bottom.
Where's your little varnish?
Oh, yeah.
So the next mistake I made was buying my plywood at 2 separate times. The first sheet I bought I used for the box, and that was 19/32. The second time I went back, I couldn't remember what size the first sheet was, and I bought 15/32. Wasn't a huge deal, it just complicated things a little bit. The only thing that happened was some of my drawer bottoms are 19/32. Now that I have all my drawer sides and fronts and backs together and assembled, now I can use it as a template to cut my bottom.
Looky here.
Very good.
They wish that they had Jason's girl. Bum, bum, Jason's girl. Where can they find a woman like that? Jason's girl. Are you still recording?
That one is.
Oh, that one is too.
As embarrassing as that was, it gets worse. Assembling the sides and the back before putting the bottom on was not the best method. Because right now I'm going to put glue all the way around this bottom and then trying to fit it in this tight frame. That was my glue smearing down one side. Now it just smeared down the back, and it's starting to stick to my paper. Just when I thought I had it in, I popped it back out. I really need to have that Benny Hill music playing as the theme to my life, or the that Larry David show. Now I'm going to try to squeeze glue into the crack. If this was somebody else, it'd be funny. I'm sure you guys are enjoying it. Okay, one issue that I've run into with using the 15/32 plywood is the screws that came with the drawer guides are actually thicker than my plywood. I know they're not going to go in that much, but it can go in enough to poke through. So I'm okay. I have different screws. So I already had these number 8 1/2-inch screws. So that should solve my problem. Okay, so I flipped my box upside down, and then I'm using these cutoffs as spacers for the drawer slides to keep them up off the, which is now the top of the box, just to give some space in between. And then I cut up a bunch of this to use as spacers in between the drawers. So I'll show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to do the drawer upside down so gravity holds everything straight. Now I started at the top, but it turned out to be a mistake. I should have really started at the bottom. The only reason I started at the top first was because I knew I wanted the skinniest drawer at the top, and then I wanted to get thicker drawers as I got to the bottom. So the last drawer, I didn't know how thick it was going to be. I was going to make it whatever was left over. And that proved to be a bit of a mistake, and I'll show you why later. What an idiot. Okay, so now that I got all my dimensions and I know what to do, I'm just going to set up this edge guide on my saw and just start cutting up all my pieces for my drawers. It's pretty much the same process I did before for the single drawer, for the first drawer, so you're not going to have to watch the whole thing. I usually keep a bunch of pencils in my apron. Oh, is there a manlier word for that? And I'm always doing this. I'm always looking for my pencil. I must do this every time I make a mark. So the only thing I did different was how I built the drawers. Rather than building the frame and then trying to force the bottom into it, I just attached each frame piece to the bottom individually, and it came out much better, much easier. So once I had all my drawers built, I was able to put them inside of the box. I put a 3/4 inch spacer in between to get my spacing down, and then I figured out what the last drawer was going to be, the last drawer size, and I built that too. So now I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to put all the drawers in. I'm going to install all the drawers. One mistake I made in the beginning of this project that's coming back to bite me a little bit is when I bought this plywood, I leaned it against the wall in my garage because I was only going to leave it there a few days. That was my plan. It ended up taking me much longer. Probably sat there at least a week. So now I have it bowed. Everything I build is bowed. So if you measure the bottom, I'm at 28 and 7/8, a little bit shy of 7/8. But when you come to the top, to the middle, I'm at 29. So I'm a fat eighth over what I should be. And so that bow is showing up in the drawers in the way they slide. It's not sliding as easy as the bottom ones did. So I'm thinking what I could do to fix it, because I'm leaving a 3/4 inch gap in here anyways, is use something like this to go across to suck the bow out of it and be a support beam. And it would just be, in between here. The piece of wood I picked for that brace had a hole in it. That's where my measurement went to, just before the hole. 28 and 7/8. Tell me that ain't God's plan. God's plan. Remember that thing I was just bragging, God's plan? Because it was exactly 28 and 7/8 for this stick right where the hole was, and it was like, whoa, that's crazy. That was the wrong measurement. That was the outside measurement. I did the inside measurement, which is only 27 and 5/8. So much for God's plan. So I just put in some spacers to keep this brace up off the bottom drawer. These are 1/8 inch spacers. And then I just clamped it in place, pre-drilled it, and put some screws into it. I actually used some wood glue too. And that seemed to do the trick. The drawer started sliding better, and that was it. Good to go. Look at this screw. It does not want to sit in there. I could not figure out what was going wrong, why it kept turning on me when I was trying to put it in, but the screw is defective. When I put in, I even went and got this magnetic thing to help hold it straight. When I put in a regular screw, it stays straight. Last one I'm trying to put in. That's what happens. Okay, so I got all my drawers in. Now it's time to take it over and see how it fits into the cart. Wish me luck. You're not gonna believe this, unless you've watched my channel before, and then you know I do this kind of stuff all the time. This won't fit in there. It's just a hair off. So I'm gonna try to sand the top of it, and it all comes down to the original mistake I made, where I thought this was 1/2 inch that I was using when I did all my measurements, and ended up being that 19-30 seconds, just barely there. So I'm gonna try to sand it. Okay, so I marked the top of it to make sure I got every inch, and I sanded the crap out of it for 10-15 minutes, and it still did not fit. So this time I got more aggressive and I busted out the belt sander, and I probably sanded this time for about 20 minutes. And this time, can I get a drum roll? It still didn't fit. Dude, I was ready to burn my shop down or turn it into a yoga studio. So I had to do what I did not want to do. I had to pull the top off and try to either put a thinner plywood on there, which turned out I didn't have. So wait till you see what I had to do. So as you would expect, the top edge of the box was not looking too good, because it pulled off some of the veneer of the plywood top that was on there. So I had to figure out a way to clean this up. So the only thing I could think of to clean up this top edge and to reduce the height of this box was to just cut off the top edge, cut a 1/4 inch off. So I busted out my recession time track saw and I got to cutting. Then I just screwed the top back on the same way I took it off, using the same top. And it fit. So after I celebrated my victory with a strong, cold glass of chocolate milk, I put all my drawers back in, and now it's time to make some drawer fronts. So I'm making all my drawer fronts out of just some 1x construction lumber. The top ones are going to be 1x4, and the bottom drawers are going to be 1x6s, all depending on the height of the drawer itself. The width of each drawer is not going to change, so I set up a stop block on my miter saw, and now I'm just cutting each one to the width. Then I measure the height I wanted the drawer front to be, set up that dimension on my table saw fence, and cut each one out. I got a special trim paint that I'm going to paint these, so I'm just giving each one of them a quick sanding to knock down any of the high spots and just clean them up a little bit. Guys, most of the projects I make, I try to use inexpensive common tools like skill saws, a screw gun, job site table saw. And if I do use an expensive tool, I usually give an alternative like a hand saw, but I still get comments like this. $15 and a $30K workshop. What is $15 but $10,000 in shop tools? So after receiving literally hundreds of these comments, I decided to start another channel. So coming soon to YouTube, I give you Jasko's Butter Knife Builds, where I teach you how to build everything with a butter knife. We'll make a measuring butter knife, a hammer butter knife, the classic screwdriver butter knife. And for your first project, I'll teach you how to build this butter knife toolbox. And for your first tool upgrade, I'll teach you where you can get this butter knife, steak knife, serrated combo perfect for sawing. And all it costs is a meal at Chili's. And if you think we're stopping with butter knives, you're crazy. I'll teach you how to stain wood using an old toothbrush, a McDonald's barbecue packet, and a Portishead napkin and a drop cloth. Unfortunately, I did not learn my lesson about starting at the top, and I'm doing it again. So you'll get to watch me correct mistake 432 of this project. Another thing is I try to use these spring clamps to hold the drawer face to the drawer while I drilled it and screwed it. While it worked, it wasn't the best practice and it didn't turn out the best. You'll see here real soon why it didn't turn out the best and what I had to do to fix it. And that is a false thumbs up right there. I didn't know it at the time, but that was a false thumbs up. Okay, so my second drawer down was already giving me problems, and it has nothing to do with the order I put it in. It's something completely different. Let me show you. So the drawer guide on this side, I left it sticking out too far. None of the other ones are sticking out that far. I don't know why this one is. So it's pushing this drawer front out. So when I close it, it does that. So I just got to adjust this side. Is drinking and woodworking a thing? Because if I'm not drinking and I'm doing this stuff, at least if I'm drinking and doing it, you know. Okay, so I was wrong. It wasn't just the drawer slide. It's this back rail. You see the gap in between there? That's how far out of square it is, and it's because, I don't know if you can see down there, there's a bow in it when you get to this end right here. Remember I told you I left the plywood sitting and it bowed? It wasn't just that. When you buy plywood at Home Depot, it's already bowed. Like, you can't find unbowed wood at Home Depot. But anyways, that's what's throwing it off. You're about to see some buffoonery. You may just stop watching my channel after this. But I think I got a fix for it. Okay, so fix number one is I'm going to run the whole drawer through my table saw to square up the front. And I'm going to do it in 2 passes just to minimize any kind of kickback or pressure on the blade. Another issue was my drawer face was crooked, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut a whole new one. Okay, cross your fingers that worked. Bam! Okay, so I got to the last drawer, and I realized I did this all wrong. Idiot! I should have installed the drawers, starting at the bottom. That way, I didn't screw this one on yet because I'm going to raise them all up. I'm going to start at the bottom now that they're all cut, and I'm going to base their spacing off of the bottom to make my reveals better. I should have did that to start with. I should have started with the bottom one. The way I did it from the top, I had to like pull it out and try to clamp it, and it was moving on me, and it wasn't the smart way to do it. Okay, so this is my bottom drawer front. I'm going to mark the center of it in both directions. Okay, so I marked the center with an X, and then you take this, and this has a hole in it. You place it on there. You line up the X in the center of that hole. I don't know if you can see the X in there or not. Probably not. It's probably not enough light. And then you can clamp it down just gonna put that. Then I'm gonna drill. Those are gonna be the future holes for my handles, but for right now, I'm gonna use it to screw it to the drawer back. Okay, so this is how I should have did it to begin with. I may go back and edit it out and pretend like I knew all along. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So I have this lip down here that I have to clear. I don't know where, if yours are going to be sitting on a counter, you don't want it rubbing on the counter, so you would need a spacer underneath of it, depending on where you would put yours. So I'm going to use this as my spacer. Put that in there. Center it on here. There we go. Then I'm going to use the holes that I'm going to eventually use for handles, and I'm going to screw it on that way. Then I'm going to open it, screw it from the inside. I was like, I got everything I need, but I didn't get the drill. Thought I had everything I needed this time. So bam, that one's good. So now, for my next one, I'm gonna do the same thing. I already put the holes in it. You can see the cross I made in the center. So I'm gonna put this here. Set this here. Center that up. Look at that reveal. Much better. So now I'm gonna pull that out. Oh, there's my drill I was looking for. I'm gonna put these screws back in. I like using two different brands because then they feel like they got to compete with each other, you know, and they work their hardest. Well, bam! Now I just got to do that all the way up. All right, so I redid them all. As you can see, much better reveals. This one's still pushing out on the one side. I may try to change the actual drawer slide. Maybe that's defective or something, but they're much better. Now, all I gotta do is paint them. I got a special paint for these. It's a little more expensive. It's for cabinets and stuff like that. Cabinet trim. The little can was like 27 bucks or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I'll put it in the video right here maybe. But anyways, yeah. Then I'm gonna throw the handles on, and then I'm gonna put the liners in, and I bought something special to go inside of them, and I'll show you in a minute. I couldn't decide whether to paint the drawer fronts or leave them wood like they are. I kind of like the way that wood looks against that gray frame. So in the meantime, I decided to put some French cleats on the side of this thing so I can build some boxes to put on here. And the first box I built was this little thing to hold all my saw blades that have just been sitting around. I didn't really know what to do with them, so this fits them perfectly. If you've seen any of my videos before I built my cabinets, I had this pegboard on the wall with all my tools on it. And it's just been sitting in my garage taking up space, so I figured I better use it for something. I had the perfect idea. I decided to go ahead and paint the faces on these because I didn't really sand it all the way, so it wasn't finished sanded, and I just figured this would be more durable. Let me know in the comments if you think I made the wrong decision. When I built my cabinets, I bought a 30-pack of these handles because I knew I would want more for whatever else I built for my garage. And then also I like to hand them to my wife when she's mad and say, you need to get a handle on yourself. She hasn't laughed yet. I bought this roll of toolbox liner off of Amazon. I'll leave a link for it in the description. It was pretty cheap and the stuff works really good. It's supposed to keep everything from sliding around. I just rough cut it to size, pushed it into the corners with a putty knife, and then trimmed it up with a box cutter. So there you go, my backsplash is up. I still haven't figured out what I want to hang from it yet. My screwdrivers was one thing I did miss hanging there. And my drawers are done. What do you think? I bought these from Amazon. They have all these different size trays. They fit in the drawers perfectly. I'm gonna put some wrenches in this drawer and some sockets. As you can see, I got another one that I gotta fill up. That's one thing I wanna transfer from that into here because the drawer I have over here just isn't big enough anymore. And then you see the top of this. All this stuff needs to go into drawers better, but I need to decide where to put everything. Oh, look at this. So I got them in a couple different spots. Anyway, so there's that one. Here's them containers I was telling you about. I got They don't slide around at all. They don't move at all. They're so secure in here. They have little feet that go on the bottom if you don't want to put the rubber in. They have little rubber cushions that come with them, and it's supposed to hold them in place, but I didn't even need to because the way they're shaped like a cup, they just grip this. So I got a whole drawer I can dedicate just to drill bits. Oh, what happened? And then, oh, I'm so embarrassed. That was my breakfast this morning. I lost it. So, I mean, I really don't know what I'm going to put in these drawers yet. I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to put in the drawers, what I'm going to hang. And, oh, those guys are best friends. And there's more drill bits I got. And some, this is all stuff I got from Christmas that was on Black Friday. I got some router bits. And then I got some of my Milwaukee stuff in this drawer. And then like the bottom, I haven't figured it all out yet. I got a couple snacks in there right now, my Ryobi. So my biggest problem now is just figuring out what to take from there and put into here or onto them shelves over there. It's just moving stuff around and getting it to where it works the best. If you guys got any advice, let me know in the comments. And if you guys are looking for advice, go into the comments. There's so much good advice in my comments whenever I do a build. If you guys want to build something like this and you want some extra advice, drop down in the comments and check it out. I get so many good comments in there. Hope everybody had a great Father's Day this year. I got a bunch of new Father's Day stuff. I got right behind me that I'll probably test out and put in a future video. I wanted to show you guys some stuff I got for the toolbox. Let's get a look at it. So I ran to Harbor Freight. They had some Father's Day sales. This thing was on the clearance rack. It wasn't a Father's Day sale, but it fits your wrenches in there. I'm gonna put that in the drawer. I got another one of these. I didn't have any of these for my 1/2 inch, you know, the big ones. But I wanted to show you guys this. I just saw it in a John, I think his name's John Malecki. I just saw it in one of his videos. They called it the Gator. I don't know which this one is because I think there's a couple different manufacturers that make it. But you remember these from like the 90s? I've had this thing forever. It doesn't really work that good. I don't know. I just hold on to it because it's kind of interesting. It's one of those sockets that you can put any size nut in there and it just grips around these, but they don't work that good. These things have some play in them. I don't know if you can see. If you remember these from the 90s, throw it in the comments down there. Look at that, new coffee cup for Father's Day. I'm redoing my little metal toolbox. I hang on to this. It's not a name brand or anything. It's a really cheap one. My wife got it for me. It was like the first gift she got me. I've had it we've been together 30 years. I probably had it 28 years. I've had this thing for a long time. But I got this new light for it. Look at this. You put this, it sticks to the back. I got my little Garbage Pail Kid cards up in there. Remember Garbage Pail Kids? If you collected these back in the 90s, oh, no, 80s. These were from the 80s. Well, these ones aren't. These ones I got later, but if you collected those back in the 80s, leave it in the comments. Dude, that barbecue sauce actually works. Look at the difference. I'm gonna use that on my next project. And it smells good too.